So you've just decided to take the next step for the stray dogs in your area. You want to feed them, you want to care for them, and unfortunately now you realize that you might be harassed for it. Well, you're not alone. But did you know that there are actually 3 pillars protecting you and the stray animals of India? Watch this video until the very end to make sure you're able to protect the animals you're fighting for with law and logic and not just passion and emotion. The Constitution of India is meant to educate and protect everyone in the country, and that includes its animals, yes, the strays as well. Here are the most important articles you need to know about concerning animals from the Constitution. Let's go. Article 51 AG is a fundamental duty instructing every citizen of India to have compassion for all living creatures, which means a concern for suffering, sympathy, and kindliness even. By taking care of the stray dogs in your area, you are in fact performing a fundamental duty as defined by your constitution. Tell that the next time someone tells you that feeding stray dogs is illegal in India. Article 51AH is another fundamental duty addressing the need for every citizen to develop a scientific temper, humanism, and the spirit of inquiry and reform. We want to focus on the word humanism here, which the Supreme Court defined as our duty to look after the welfare and the well-being of animals, and the duty to prevent the infliction of pain and suffering. Here's a fun fact though. Did you know that Chapter 3 of the Indian Constitution, the fundamental rights of the people of India, is actually Magna Carta, meaning that even the Parliament does not have the authority to amend this chapter of the Indian Constitution. The Supreme Court had in fact famously said in a case titled Golaknath versus the state of Punjab that any law violating a fundamental right may be declared void. You have to love the Supreme Court for standing up for its people. But what has this got to do with animals? Well, in 2015, the Supreme Court recognized 5 fundamental freedoms in a case titled the Animal Welfare Board of India, the AWBI versus A. Nagaraja and others. Freedom from hunger, thirst and malnutrition, freedom from fear and distress, freedom from physical and thermal discomfort, freedom from pain, injury, disease, and most importantly, the freedom to express all natural forms of behavior. In 3, 2, 1, let's go. These 5 fundamental freedoms were read into sections 3 and 11 of the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals Act, making them the Magna Carta of animal rights, the same as our fundamental rights. The PCA Act is meant to protect animals from unnecessary forms of cruelty such as being beaten, kicked or tortured, from injurious substances such as poison or drugs, and even from mutilation and death in an unnecessary or cruel manner. Remember, animals fighting back from being tortured is the same as self-defense. The Act also addresses a humane and ethical manner for ending the life of an animal in a situation when there are no other options. A good example for this would be for an animal showing signs of rabies. But even then, this cannot be done without proper confirmation by a veterinarian. And that brings us to our final pillar, the Animal Welfare Board of India, the AWBI, established under Section 4 of the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals Act. The AWBI is a statutory advisory body on animal welfare laws in the country. They have addressed several matters through their guidelines, including stray dogs care and the rights of pet parents. Some of their most important functions include keeping the PCA Act under study, to advise and recommend amendments based on updating world laws and new information. The 2014 Supreme Court case, the AWBI, the Animal Welfare Board of India versus A. Nagaraja and others, is a good example of their importance in the role of animal welfare in India. The AWBI also exists to impart education and to inform the general public on animal welfare, to help people understand the importance of looking at animals as sentient beings. This is important because as humans, we have grown and become better, or at least try to, with each passing generation. We have taken the right steps to overcome racism. We have taken the right steps to overcome sexism and casteism through constitutional and statutory amendments, also by educating and informing the public. Perhaps now's the time to look at speciesism with the same lens, the discrimination of man against other species. Animals aren't meant to be dominated or exploited. They need us to speak for them, fight for them, responsibly though. And that's the message we want to end this video with. We don't want to stop here though. There are many people across the country being harassed, mentally and physically, despite being responsible feeders and caregivers, despite only fulfilling their fundamental duties as citizens of India. Our next video is going to be about the Indian Penal Codes, the IPCs protecting us and our animals, pets and strays. Do click the notification bell to make sure that you're updated as soon as the video comes out. But until then, if you would love to know more about whether the Supreme Court has banned the feeding of stray dogs in India, click here. And if you would love some easy, economical and healthy recipes for dogs, click here. This is apawfive. See you next time.